So here we go.
Mm-hmm. So we're supposed to say stay silent. We can't talk right now. We're not allowed to talk right now.
Well, I mean,
They're
we
watching ads.
can. They may
They'd
or may
rather
not
watch
be
the
able
ads
to.
than us.
Yeah, we may or may not be able to hear. They may or may not. They may or may not be.
Oh, that's an echo.
Yeah, we may or. Sorry about that. That better?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I had my window open for some reason in regular YouTube.
Normie YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, normie YouTube. So, anyway, I think we can talk now. Hey, Logicked.
Oh, I'm allowed to talk now? Okay.
You're allowed to talk whenever you want to.
I was informed that I can't talk for 20 seconds.
That's only because you may or may not hear us out there. Hello there in YouTube land.
Hello.
Can you hear us now? No, Logic's here live limited.
Hello, the chat that I assume is there.
Yeah, we got a few. Got a few trickling in. So, how you doing, Logicked?
Oh, I'm fine. Just drinking some tea. I hope I don't spill it on myself this time. That's what I did last time.
Oh, is that like when you spilled your wine or vodka all over yourself?
Oh, yeah, except hotter.
Ah.
I mean, I assume. I
So
don't
it's
know what
hot
you do
tea,
with your
not
wine,
iced tea.
but
It's hot tea, not iced tea?
oh, of course it's hot tea.
Ah. Yeah, I don't like iced tea either.
Mm.
Iced tea's kind of like a southern thing. I don't do iced tea. How did you come up with the idea of your YouTube channel, might I ask?
The idea of it, arguing with people on the internet?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take much to come up with that. That's kind of my nature.
Okay.
It's yeah, that's kind of what I always do. It's just argue with people on the internet. I try to do that less now.
Okay.
I tried to kind of quit, or at least wind it down a little bit, except within the confines of the actual channel. But I mean, when somebody says something stupid, you got to say something, right?
Right. Yeah, like I started my channel because I was tired of repeating myself. I'm like, you know what? Just say, hey, go to my channel. That way they know my arguments, because, I mean, they bring up the same goddamn shit all the damn time,
I remember years and years ago when I was but a young lad, I was chatting with someone on like MSN Messenger, and I said something about evolution that came up organically for some reason, and the person was like, don't you know that there's like a 1 in 4, and then 41 with 46 zeros after it, chance of that happening by chance, and like, let me tell you about all the different reasons why evolution's bullshit, and they went on for like 20 paragraphs and then blocked me. And I think that might have had some influence as well. I was like, wait, what just happened? What is this person talking about? And why was this person so upset about this? I was baffled by that for some time.
Oh,
and then I think once I figured out that young Earth creationism was a thing, I went, oh, okay, this is really dumb and annoying.
Yeah, I grew up in
young Earth. I was especially annoyed because of that reaction.
I grew up in young Earth creationism, so you're growing up as an atheist is like totally alien to me.
Yeah, well, ditto, I guess.
But, I got out of that and now I do videos on it. But, I do, I try to defend them a little bit because aside from their leaders, it's not really their fault. They've been brainwashed.
No, I get that. I get that. But I
I
mean,
mean,
how do you convince people without actually arguing about it?
yeah, but then you've got people like Kent Hovind and Ken Ham who are literally dishonest about every fucking thing they ever say.
Yeah, like for me, there's a big distinction. Like, I mean, the first person that I responded to, and I probably did so far too harshly, but it was John Pendleton. And I mean, he was a true believer, I'm pretty sure, totally suckered in specifically by Kent Hovind and maybe a couple of others. And a nice guy, clearly, trying to do what he thought was right, I'm pretty sure at least. I never really saw any indication from him that he was anything other than sincere. So I know what you mean, where you don't really judge the person as a whole from it or anything like that. You don't go, okay, you're just dishonest or trying to fool people. You don't have to attribute malice, but sometimes it comes through that it's pretty clearly malicious from some people, or at least not all that sincere, profit driven.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there is a distinction, I think. Like somebody like Kent Hovind, like he knows which of those quotes that he tells he just made up whole cloth. He knows which ones came from a book where there's two paragraphs on either side that give context. He's totally aware of it, right? Like when he's digging through science textbooks for quote mines, he knows what he's doing.
Right. And as you pointed out, I think in one of your Carl Ball videos, quote mining isn't science.
No.
And it's really odd that you have to go to quote mining to, argue against the science instead of using science to argue against science.
Yeah, you can kind of tell when somebody doesn't have a whole lot of good arguments when they start resorting to that as one of their first things. Within like about number 5 down the list is quote mining as far as bullshit tactics that they use.
What would you say the first bullshit tactic is?
Oh man. Now you put me on the spot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The first. I don't know.
I would say just making shit up because, and I think one of your call laws, it was 2006. He came out with something that was like, oh, the junk DNA isn't junk DNA. And then he pointed out, that ENCODE project wasn't until 2012, So he
Yeah.
was just making shit up.
Yeah. There are definitely those times. I'm talking more about frequency than about severity.
Oh,
But
okay. Gotcha.
and that's harder to pin down. I mean, yeah, making shit up is definitely probably number 1 in severity, for sure. Frequency is hard. I mean, I was saying number 5 is just like a random number I pulled out of my ass
Okay.
because I can do that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can just make shit up too. See.
Well, see, if
I mean,
Kent Hovind can, you can too.
Now they'll take that as the quote mine. Look, he's making up statistics that aren't true. These fucking evolutionists.
Well, see, the thing they don't understand is number 1, it's not chance. Number 2, if you have one in 46 to how many ever zeros, there's still a chance it can happen. And that's
there is, but the
get.
problem is they're talking about like somebody computed the chance of it all just like popping into existence the way it is now. Like, hey, what's the chance of just a cat spontaneously generating out of chemistry?
Well, see, the thing is, Kent Hovind says we think we come from rocks. And I'm like, wait a minute, Kent. What do you think dust is?
Yeah. Yeah, but see, he believes that we come from dust that had the magic breath of God put in it. So that's different. There's an extra ingredient there.
Yeah, but that's just a golem spell.
I mean, it pretty much is. Uh, yeah, I don't know. They always object to. They're like, if atheism's true, we're all just meat robots. It's like, yeah. Same with your thing. It's really not that different. You're a meat
Yeah,
robot with a ghost inside of it. Oh well. Like, what's the
yeah.
difference?
Except we're meat robots with a will, you know.
Yeah, they say that, but I don't buy it. If you have the all-knowing God, I don't buy it.
No, no. I
I'm
mean, when we when what we believe, like we're like quote unquote meat robots, right? But we've at least have a will,
Yeah, I mean the will isn't the same kind of will that they want there to be, but
right?
that's pretty much the objection. It's like I don't like it. I don't like that it works by physics and that it has ultimately fundamentally physically controlled processes.
Yeah, I want my
Okay,
life
so you
to be
don't. Okay, you don't
magically.
like it. What am I supposed to tell you? Do you
Yeah.
feel like you have free will? Okay, then what's the problem? You feel like it, don't you? What's the big
Well,
deal? You might as well live like it too, for all practical purposes. I mean,
right. But see, the problem is fMRIs have shown that we don't have free will.
oh, I'm aware. Like I mean,
Oh, I know
you know,
you're aware.
at the basic level, you're a physical process. You can't
Right.
change physics with your brain. So, of course, but the pro see, this is the confusing part for me. I never could quite understand what the problem was with that because for me it was just like I think with my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And I never really understood what people are objecting to about it. So why does this freak you out? You know?
Yeah. I think it has a lot to do with purpose, but um, you helped me a lot with. I had already rejected young Earth creationism when I found your channel,
All
and
right.
you just helped me understand, that it doesn't matter what we think, it matters what we can prove.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean, I feel like at a lot of turns, like a lot of these videos that I respond to, the people seem to have this idea in their head that if you have a certain belief about the way the world works, you have to have all these follow on beliefs about what the point of your life is, how you have to live it, how you have to think about your own mind. And it's like, look, you can have a totally fact based view of the world and still have a sense of purpose, have a sense of independence and freedom and free will, and choice. Like these aren't mutually exclusive, right? This is a matter of perspective. And for some reason, it's always put forth by the religious, and I think they're just really stuck in their mindset. But it's like, no, if it's not my way, then it's no way. You're just your life is completely pointless, and you have to think that, and you might as well not bother doing anything. You might as well just, you're just a slave to your biology, so you might as well just sit at home and rot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why? That's just you saying that. Like that's just an idea in your head. Why should I believe it?
So you think John Pendleton's a true believer, huh?
I mean, as far as I'm aware, unless there's something that I'm not
Yeah.
aware of, I mean, I could be persuaded otherwise. But
Uh,
I think that the problem with him is that most of what he said that I actually saw was him just repeating Kent Hovind lines.
yeah.
He wasn't making it up himself.
Right.
And I kind of feel like he was just suckered in by it. I mean, he was probably, to be fair, he was probably suckered in by his parents and his whole community as well in the first
Right.
place. But I feel like that was something that he latched onto to justify it to himself.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
Well, when he said he was in college, and I'm like, really, dude, you went to college?
Well, I think he did. I remember I found his resume one time on Angel
Yeah,
Fire.
I did too, and it did say he went to college, but it just doesn't seem like, you know, especially
Yeah.
chemistry, you know. But I'm not here to question the guy's creds or anything.
No,
But it's
especially
not like
now.
he
I
has
mean,
any advanced degree.
well, it's not like he has anything now.
Yeah, because I think he died, right?
Yeah, apparently so. Which kind of sucked because I was trying to get a group together to go to Mexico and hunt pterosaurs with him.
I know. You were talking about that. You were getting so excited.
I would have done it 100%. I would have gone to the goddamn Mexican desert and spent 2 weeks camping in a tent outside of a cage full of pig blood and eucalyptus oil just to hunt that damn pterosaur. I would have built the fucking cage for him too. I would have done
Just
all the heavy lifting, right? I mean, he's an older guy. He would probably want
right.
to hire somebody to help, but you know what? I can do it. And yeah, no, we were actually like behind the scenes. Like one of my patrons managed to become friends with him on Facebook. And then he
Oh,
managed to get
cool.
in touch with him and like start talking about whether we could fund his trip in return for being able to go on the trip and help out. And yeah, but then he died, so that didn't work out. I feel like we're in the darkest timeline, the timeline where I don't get to go pterosaur hunting in Mexico with John Pendleton.
Ah, maybe you'll get to go pterosaur hunting in the
In the big
it,
Mexican desert in the sky.
yeah, or there's also pterosaurs over there in the African wildernesses.
That's true, but it's just not the same without him. Maybe Carl Baugh. You think he wants to come? I know he's kind of like a hobbling old man at this point. He might not really be able to keep up with the. I'm sure there's a lot of heavy activity in pterosaur hunting. It's got to be a pretty tough job, really. Especially once you jump on the thing's back and have to wrestle it to the ground as it tries to fly away.
Exactly. And then you don't know how long the tranquilizer is going to last, because you don't know how these things are going to work on
Yeah,
fucking pterosaurs.
yeah. Maybe it doesn't even have any effect. I mean, maybe that toxic breath. That shows that it's like a very different animal than we're used to. It could have totally different chemistry going on. It could be an alien for all we know.
Right.
You don't know. Yeah. I mean, I don't really understand the toxic breath aspect of it.
Well, the one thing I don't understand is the amphibious plesiosaur.
I don't remember that.
Um, I think it was um I think it was Carl Baugh, and he had John Pendleton on, and you uh you said something about Muckley and Bimby.
Oh
Um,
yeah, John calls it Mokele Membi.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's like Mokele Mbembe.
yeah, yeah, and but then you were like, but this was along the same. This was in the same thing as the Loch Ness Alamosaurus.
Uh, so yeah, so so the plesiosaur is an amphibious, is it? Is it also an herbivorous?
Well, maybe. I mean, who knows? Since
Yeah.
the fall, who knows?
Well, I mean, it's got pointy teeth, but that doesn't really tell you anything. They have vegan lions.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, totally.
Totally on the savannah, too.
Yeah, that definitely the lions on the savannah are going around grazing when the humans aren't looking.
No, they just take down the big prey when we're looking.
Yeah, they just do that for show, just to trick those humans.
Silly humans think we hunt prey for a living.
Makes them stay away from us, makes them scared of us. All I use these claws for is digging out potatoes.
Or ants.
There you go.
My God. I mean, looking back, it is so silly, but when I was in it, I was like totally, gung ho about it. I was like, yeah, this is the way it is, man. You know?
Yeah, I mean, there is. I mean, you were like right from birth raised into it, hardcore. I bet.
Yeah,
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 so
I
that
was.
really sticks. I mean, it forms like basic foundational ideas in your head that you're going to use to judge the entire world by. You're like that's going to be your baseline of how things work. So I mean, that would be hard to break. It's like almost axiomatic at that point. A lot of the stuff it's taken as such.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had a hard time breaking it too, but I did. And if I
Mm.
can, anybody can.
Yeah, I think most people have a hard time with it from what I've heard.
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
it's the same from my side the other way. Like, if I suddenly, I mean, I guess the one thing is, like, if it were true, I would actually want to know.
Hmm.
So that's one thing about it, I suppose. But, like, if I had to suddenly change my mind tomorrow to start believing in God and young Earth creationism, I would have a real uphill battle, I think. I'd be like, wait, what? Huh? Hold on. My entire conception of this world is very flawed. Now I have
Right.
a big struggle on my hands to try to figure this whole thing out. And I got a whole lot of yarn to untangle.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Especially when everything, astronomy, geology, I mean, we're not even getting into evolution. They blame evolution for the old Earth or theory at this point. But I mean, it's not. I mean, old Earth was proved by geology, not evolution. And
Hmm.
so, what if evolution needs billions of years to happen? Yeah,
Well, it's
I
a
mean,
big number, and big numbers are stupid. If you say it
because
with a
the Earth
funny
is
voice, it's
only,
even less convincing.
yeah,
Billions of years.
because Earth is only 6,000 years old.
Yeah, yeah. See, 6,000 years sounds perfectly normal. Billions of years. That doesn't sound normal at all. Because I said it's stupid. You believe me now.
But the real weird thing is, the way I grew up, um, they preached a sabbatical millennium. So, like, if the Earth is 6,000 years old, right, we're supposed to be in the sabbatical millennium right now
Okay.
because we're supposed to be in the seventh millennium, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. And what's the point of this?
Um, well, from their point of view, Jesus should have already come.
Oh, well, yeah. That feels like a recurring problem.
Yeah, especially with Claudia Albers.
Yeah, yeah. She disappeared for a while after that. Her husband or whatever he is claimed that she had mercury poisoning. I don't know if that's true or not. And then she came back and started making videos again with no explanation whatsoever.
Mm. Well,
Um,
she could possibly have had mercury poisoning. I mean, I used to eat a lot of fish from the ocean, not from freshwater, but from the ocean.
yeah.
And there's a lot of mercury poisoning in the ocean.
Hmm.
Um,
Maybe the problem that I have is I trust that guy as far as I can throw him. and I can't
Right,
even reach him
right.
because he's an internet person.
Yeah.
So I can't throw him at all.
And he is her partner, so he's probably gonna lie for her.
Yeah. I don't really understand that whole situation, to be honest with you. I'm just ignoring it now. But yeah. Anyway, she's back. You know, making
Oh,
videos. So
Gina Maria. Yeah, Gina Maria.
yeah, Gina's another one. Yeah, Gina's fun. I like Gina.
Isn't Gina the
That's
Yeti one?
no, that is the final days. There are too many of these people. Yeah, yeah. No, yeah. There are a lot of these people.
So, so tell me, how did you grow up? I've probably talked too much on here. So, how did you grow up?
Grow up? I don't know. Normal. I would I would
Without
go to
all
the
this shit
beach.
shoved
I
down
would
your
go up the
throat?
mountain. I would go out in the boat. I would play video games. I don't know. I did kid stuff.
Ah.
You know, that stuff. I'm not sure what you mean specifically.
Well, you weren't indoctrinated.
I mean, to be
And
fair, in some way, I probably was. Everybody kind of is into something.
well, yeah, kind of, but I mean, you weren't like me, because there was a time about 5 years when I went to a Christian school. I was in church every time the doors were open. Uh,
Was it a nice church at least? Like with all the fancy drapings and stained glass, or was it like one of those lame churches that's like a hotel room rental thing?
One of them was a warehouse, literally a
Oh,
warehouse.
did they at least try to like religiousize it up, make it look good?
A
You know,
one
that's one
step
thing. Like
altar.
the Catholics have kind of got it figured out. They have some good like aesthetics.
Yeah, they
You,
do.
you know, even like the Orthodox type of thing, they got something going on. But like a lot of the churches that I've seen are just it's like a sturdy carpet, very low pile, so it's easy to sweep with like one of those weird carpet sweepers,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
plain white walls and like folding chairs. Um, was it like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Except we did have pews.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, upgrades.
Yeah, and a one step altar. Gotta have the altar.
Oh, okay. Was that fancy at least, or was it like
Mm,
was it like a folding picnic table?
no, it was literally a step. You took a step up to the platform.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. They got to do better on that. Like they're wondering why people are leaving, and it's like, dude, you got no vibes. Like you walk
Yeah.
in there, you're like, oh, I'm not feeling this.
Yeah.
I've been in religious buildings where I was like, okay, yeah, there's some presence here. You
Mhm.
walk in there, you're like, I feel something from being in this room right now.
Right.
Uh, because it's a good room.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I would never go down to Kent Hovind's compound, but if I did, I don't think I would ever get a vibe out of his shit.
Well, it's a single wide trailer.
Is that where he holds his quote unquote church services?
I don't know. I mean, it was at one point, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know if it still is. To be honest, I haven't paid attention to him in at least a couple of years.
Yeah. I just make fun of him. I don't pay him any mind. I don't, you know, I used to go in his rooms to, try to talk sense into the people. And, I'm like, I don't listen to Ken. I just come in here to talk to you guys. And they're like, well, he's the only one that talks. So what do? Put him on mute? I'm like, yeah. Actually, I just pause him because I don't want to give him the money.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, and then we upgraded to a church that did have stained glass
Oh,
windows.
sweet. And did you get more religious?
No. No, actually, the Warehouse Church was an independent fundamentalist Baptist church, and the one with stained glass windows was the Southern Baptist Church. So, the independent fundamentalists would say the Southern Baptists are backsliding because they're not as legalistic.
Oh.
But anyway, um, yeah,
Yeah, it's funny how they all are absolutely certain of different things.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it is. And you would think, huh, well, okay, there's one Bible, you know, and
It's not
wouldn't
even
you,
just the Bible. It's I know it in my heart because God told me. So it's
yeah,
definitely true what I'm saying. And then
and
the guys are
just
like, well,
like
no, God told
weird,
me. Must have been Satan told you.
yeah, and just like weird. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was like there's like, you know, one Bible, but there's so many different denominations, you know,
Mhm.
like good old Theophilus was saying. You know?
Yeah, most of them are just witches, I'm pretty sure.
Or Muslims in
That's
Christian
just a,
clothing.
isn't that just another kind of witch though? And we're talking about Theophilus here. Whoa, what was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my phone.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Um but yeah, this is Theophilus. I'm just going to replay Valentine whacking his
You
head.
want to have sex with your dog. Yeah. I love that guy. I really do. I mean, he's a character, but I really like him.
Yeah, he is. And, you know, I think you got a little bit through to him on your live stream. I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw the one you put
Maybe.
up on your main channel.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a little bit, but he's just doing what he has always done still. So, not that much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can only do so much, you know.
Yeah. But
A
at
lot
least
of
it
it
was a
has.
good-natured conversation cuz,
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's more fun. I like to do that more.
Yeah.
If I'm going to talk to these kind of people in person or like in voice to voice type of in person, it's nice to just get along, joke
Yeah.
around. Not everything has to be so serious. I mean, to be frank, I don't really give a shit what he thinks.
Right.
you know, it's like believe what you want, man. You're a fucking grown man. You can do what you want. I don't care.
Well, except that here south of the border, and I live in a blue state, so it's pretty awesome here in Oregon, not too far from the Canadian border. I mean, if I have to, I can jump.
I guess.
If it gets that bad here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if it gets too bad up here with people jumping the border, we'll just build the wall. Right. It's a bit bigger of a wall than you guys were planning, but we'll manage somehow. We got trees and things.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the very least, a wire fence.
but but yeah, but I live in a blue state. But it um I think the the how can I put this in a way that's not going to get me in trouble with YouTube? The thing that
That's
just happened, you know, the Supreme Court thingy.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Um, I think that's going to come back to bite him in the butt.
Hmm. To bite who in the butt again? I forgot who we were talking about.
The fundies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's going to come bite him to bite them back in the butt because I think even though the fundies are more vocal, I think there's more people who are now seeing that they can't just, oh, like whatever about it, you know?
Yeah, but I'm talking more on a personal level, right? Like,
Yeah.
person to person, when you're just talking to a person,
Yeah.
um, it's not your thing to like change everybody's minds on a personal basis.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
definitely. It's
and
just,
and the other
it's,
thing is like you can, as far as I'm concerned, people can just, you know, people who I'm talking to personally can just believe
mhm,
what they want. I mean, I'll
yeah.
make videos making arguments and whatever, but that's a different thing.
Right, right.
Um, than desperately trying to change someone's mind in person and getting angry when they don't. Like,
Yeah.
I pointed out something that's obviously factual and you didn't immediately change your mind. Fuck you, you're a terrible person. Well, nah,
Yeah.
that doesn't really work, to be honest.
Yeah, you're a lot more cool-headed than I am with these people. I guess it's because I came from that type of mindset, and it just really bothers me that they reel these people in. Like, there's a common turn of phrase in the Christian world. Um, I went to church 9 months before I was born, and that was me.
Wait, you went to church 9 months before you were born?
That's a common turn of phrase in the Christian world.
Yeah, well, I remember Almondo saying that he was a father, even though his baby wasn't born. So, yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, they believe that too.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's kind of true. It's not like not true. It's just also not true. It's true and not true in different, again, coming down to like perspective on things, right? Because that's a purely, ultimately that's a purely subjective thing. It's like, are you going to consider uh are you going to consider an organism being formed inside its mother as a separate entity? And if you do, I mean, that's, you can just say that.
mhm.
I mean, it's not like it's factually wrong. It's not like it's factually right either. It's just a way of perceiving it, I suppose.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, they don't have any problem with shooting. They don't have any problem with killing animals for food.
No, but animals don't have souls.
Says them. And if you ask a Hindu, they probably think animals do have souls.
I bet there's a fair few Christians out there who want their dogs to go to heaven, and so they believe their dog has a soul.
Yeah, all
I
dogs
bet.
go to heaven.
Yeah, yeah. I bet you. I think I've heard from one or two of them, to be honest, but it's foggy. These things all
Mm.
start to blend together.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, you started what in 2011 putting up videos?
Yeah, and all the ones from 2011 sucked, so they're gone. But 2012, the first good, well, the first not as bad video is January 1, 2012.
Okay. Um, I found some of your 2011 videos. They were basically the creation shorts. You know,
Oh,
like
those weren't
the
2011. Those were later, I'm pretty sure.
oh really? Okay.
You mean the cartoon ones, like the comic or something?
Yeah, the one where you gave the accent, the dude the accent of the southerner. You know.
Um, I don't know. It's a while ago.
Uh,
I still don't think any of that was 2011, to be honest with you.
okay, okay,
Yeah, I don't know.
gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, is back in the day I did more weird, silly stuff because to be honest, when you have like 100 people watching, you have a lot more. You feel like you have a lot more leeway to do weird shit
Yeah.
because you're like, well, none of this matters.
But I just wanted to have you on, first of all, to thank you personally. You were one of the ones, not totally all on you, I will say, but you're one of the ones that really got me okay with being an atheist. I cried when I realized I had lost my faith.
Hmm. What was it about it that was so appealing?
My faith.
Yeah.
Um,
What was the part that you were sad for?
losing the feeling, even though it wasn't true, losing at least the feeling that I had somebody with me all the time, even though it wasn't true.
Had somebody with you all the time, like
Like
just
God.
somebody got your back,
Yeah.
or was it literally like losing a sense of presence around you right there in the room?
No, it was more like got your back. My dad died in March, and so I'm like, fuck, how am I going to do this as an atheist?
Hmm. Yeah, I guess I could see that when you think that the person's going to go to heaven originally.
And then you find
I
out
don't know.
it's
It's I'm trying to get on the wavelength of this, but it is difficult for me.
yeah, I get that.
See, I've sat around and like tried to, like I've sat in the room and looked around and been like, okay, let's try to feel like I'm surrounded by a presence right now. Let's try to feel this thing that they tell me I should be able to feel, right? And like
Hmm.
sometimes if you really focus on it, you can kind of sort of make yourself get like, I don't know, kind of a feeling, I guess, if you really like tell yourself over and over that you should be. But then as soon as I stop, it's just like gone again.
Well, I mean, I can see that, but I have a condition called temporal lobe epilepsy,
Hmm.
and that's what really got me thinking in the first place about, is God really there? You know, because one of the things about temporal lobe epilepsy, not everyone who has temporal lobe epilepsy, but a lot of people who do have temporal lobe epilepsy tend to be hyper religious.
Hmm. So what does it exactly do?
Um, the temporal lobe is the God center.
Hmm.
It's literally called the God center. Have you heard of the God helmet?
Yeah. Yeah.
That stimulates the temporal lobe, and not everybody who wears the God helmet will sense God or sense a presence. But like, I think Richard Dawkins did not sense a presence with the God helmet on,
Yeah.
but a lot of atheists will. And that's just a stimulation of your temporal lobe.
Hmm.
So, it got me to thinking, well, if I'm thinking that a stimulation of my temporal lobe is God, then how do I know my God experiences are real? You know?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, the argument, the central argument for all of it is you just have to try it for yourself. You just have to ask God. You have to basically do a bunch of rituals that are meant to make you feel something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll know it's true because you felt the thing. Yeah, but I feel things all the time that aren't based on anything factual.
Right.
I mean, feelings aren't a very good argument, but that is the main argument, it seems to me. Like once you get past everything else, right? Once you get past all of the logical arguments and the pointing around at the Grand Canyon and shit, what
Oh
you're
yeah,
left
the
with
Grand
is
Canyon.
yeah, but just try to get the feeling. Try to convince yourself that it's true, and once you manage to do that and feel like it's true, then you'll know it's true. Well, yeah, but it won't, though. So yeah, I don't know. That again, another thing that just confuses me. I honestly feel like I'm just incapable of uh, feeling the things that they want me to feel, and so it's very hard to bridge that gap.
Well, I mean,
You know.
and that's fine. There are people who do that all the time. I mean, Aaron Ra, he grew up as a Mormon, but he never bought the shit they were selling. So,
Mm.
they're just people like that, you know?
Well, there's definitely variation, just natural variation within brains. Like you say, the temporal lobe epilepsy, it would be one of them.
Right.
Um, so, I mean, there's probably people who are much more primed for it than others, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then growing up in it and all that stuff didn't help either.
No, obviously that's probably the bigger factor, but
Yeah.
um, I still think it probably has some role to play. Like if you're less prone to that feeling of presence, or the various other things that are part of it, the fear of death or whatever, maybe that's part of it too. I'm sure that has some sort of biological basis, even if it's not the main thing.
Yeah.
But
Well, I took psychology in college. I was a psychology major, and I have like my internship and um, to go until I get master's in mental health counseling, which I'm not sure I'm going to go back to or not, but I may not, since my dad died. I don't have anything else to do.
mm,
But anyway, I kind of understand, which is why like I do a lot of live streams right now.
okay.
Um, just because I'm processing through the death of my dad.
Mm,
I was his caregiver, so it really hit me hard.
you said that was in
And
March.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry to hear about that, by the way.
Oh,
Didn't mention that before. I got thinking about what you were actually saying and then got
it,
distracted.
it's okay, Logic. I know you're a good guy. But you know, but now I've got free time. I can go back to school. I can do whatever I wanna, so I'm thinking about that. But so right now what I'm doing is I'm going to like I'm doing a bunch of live streams where I get a like Benny Hinn's channel and I just click any random video because I know it'll give me some juice. And I just like quote unquote psychoanalyze what they're doing.
Yeah. That is a thing sometimes. Some channels are very dependable. And
Yeah,
yeah.
especially Benny Hinn, because I mean, he assaults people. What's up with that?
He does what? He assaults or insults?
Assaults.
Assaults people. Okay.
Yeah,
In what
with his
way?
jacket.
With his jacket?
Yeah.
Like
You've never
whacking them in the
seen him?
face?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I haven't. I don't. No.
Yeah. He actually he takes off his jacket, right? And he's like, "In the name of the Lord." Boom.
Mm.
And they're like pretending to be all slain in the spirit and shit.
Well, hey, consenting adults, BDSM. It's fine. They can. If
They
that's
can
what they
do
get
whatever
off
they
on in those
want.
places, that's fine. They can do what they want.
Yeah, but I tend to first I break apart the theology, but then I also kind of break down the psychology of what they're doing. Like, the healing isn't going to happen until they get to a certain point in their emotion building, right? So that
Yeah.
they're emotionally primed to think, well, hell, these people have been healed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Faith healing's a whole special can of worms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. I think it's also the power of the group, which I'm sure that is obvious.
Oh yeah.
But for some reason, people get into groups, and all of a sudden, their rational thinking goes out the window, and it's just whatever the group thinks has to be true.
Yeah. And you see that a lot with gang violence too. You get people who would never dream of being violent by
Mm-hmm.
themselves, and all of a sudden you get them in a group, and all of a sudden they go gung ho.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Is I fucking hate being in a group. So, so, you know, if I get into a group and the group starts saying something, I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. I should
I don't
try
know.
going
It
to
could
church
be.
sometime. I really should. I should walk into a church and be like, "Hi, I'm here to find Jesus. Can you help me with that?" And just see what happens.
Germania, you're a hoot.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll take that into consideration.
Germania's trying to deconvert me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, deconvert? Deconvert?
He's he thinks I'm still too Christian.
Oh, that kind of deconvert. I see.
Fuck you, girl.
What aspects are you too Christian in?
I don't know. What aspects am I too Christian in, girl? But anyway.
I really would. If somebody invited me to a church service or whatever, I would definitely go. I don't want to just walk in because that'd be like awkward. But if somebody was like, "Hey, I really want you to come. Just come and see what it's like," I'd be like, "Okay, let me see what this is like." And I suspect I would walk out probably less of a believer than I walked in, to be honest with you. But
Probably. I mean, you would probably immediately see what I see with all the fake faith healers and all that.
mhm.
Because
Oh, if
I
it was
was
that kind of
never,
a church, definitely. That's not a question.
yeah, I was never in that kind of a church that was a faith healing kind of church.
Yeah, good. Well, yeah.
Although I was in the kind of church that was like, mental health isn't a thing. All
Uh-huh.
you need is Jesus. And if you're depressed, you just don't have enough Jesus.
Did they do like the Christian rock and roll? Any of that stuff?
No.
Good, good. I would have felt sorry for you then.
Yeah, it was more, and I got depressed when I was 18. I got major depression when I was 18.
Uh-huh.
And I,
And God immediately helped you out and you were fine?
no,
Oh.
I
Well,
had to go on
jeez.
medication. In
Those
fact, I was,
pamphlets lied to me.
yeah, I was embarrassed about the medication. I hid it in my underwear drawer for like ever.
Mm.
I hear you laughing. No, that was the thing. I really hid it in my underwear drawer because I didn't want my mom to know I was taking antidepressants. I'm like, she is going to freak if she
Also,
knows I'm taking mental health meds.
I just want to be clear. If it was the squeaking, that was not laughing. That was the seal on my thermos of tea.
Oh, okay.
I want to clear the record, and I do not laugh like I don't have that. I don't do that. Unless it's funny. Then I'll do it.
But anyway, so yeah, that was a very harmful aspect of my upbringing was I had to learn it was okay to have mental health problems, and it wasn't I just need more Jesus, you know. Now
Mm-hmm.
that is definitely a problem with the that kind of mindset because it does hurt people.
So how do you do more Jesus?
I have no idea.
Like, are there degrees of Jesus? I thought you kind of do the Jesus once, like first hit is free, and then that's it, kind of thing.
I don't know.
They keep
Maybe
trying
you
to
got
get you
to.
to take bigger and bigger doses.
I don't know. Maybe you got to suck his dick 24/7.
Maybe just spend all your time on your knees praying, all that. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But that's not really more Jesus. Like, it's the same amount of Jesus. It's just more praying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Um, you know, out of that mindset, I'm like, yeah, more Jesus doesn't sound.
I feel like the total amount of Jesus is about 4'2".
No, he was a pasty white ginger guy.
He could still be 4'2". They were short back then too.
Well, yeah, this is true. A few of them turned out to be over 6 feet, but not very many of them.
Yeah, that was probably Goliath. 6'0". No, 6'0". 6.5 feet. Inches.
Yeah, that was the Nephilim.
Oh yeah, the real big ones. Yeah,
You know, when the ark first opened, I was like, oh my God. I was
Did you
like,
go?
here we go with the ark, you know.
Have you been there?
No, and I'm not gonna go because I'm not gonna give him my money.
No, I've seen enough like video and pictures and reports from people, and it honestly seems kind of boring.
Yeah.
And you'll notice if you look at all of the images that you see of it, it's always like the same 3 statues. Like they have Adam and Eve, I think, and they have a raptor, and which looks like a Jurassic Park raptor because of course it does. And
what about that man fighting the dinosaur with the saddle?
I don't think I've seen that one. Is that real?
Yeah. I mean, in the ark it is.
They actually put a saddle on it just to rub it
Yeah.
in?
They put a saddle on a fucking dinosaur.
I don't remember that. Yeah. Well, that's great. They just have to fucking put the saddle on it. Couldn't resist it. I mean, that's the joke that everybody comes up with, is the saddle. They just lean right into it, eh? They're like, no, we're taking it back. The saddle's ours. That's our thing. You atheists who make fun of us for this, no. We're serious, dead serious about this.
We're also taking back the rainbow.
Yeah. Do they have a rainbow there? Nice big, right over. They should build a big arch right over the ark.
They do light it up at night in the colors of the rainbow. Sometimes.
The ark itself?
Mm-hmm.
That's strange. That doesn't really make much sense.
No, I know. But, I mean, I guess if you've already got the fucking ark up, you might as well.
Light it up blue, like, with waves. Like, I got this light that makes like a blue light, but it has watery looking waves because it like turns, it has a little motor.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Wouldn't that make more sense? Like thematically?
Dude, I don't know.
Rainbows don't light things up. Like, and you're not, if it's at night, it doesn't even make any sense anyway.
Right,
ever seen a nighttime rainbow?
Yeah. Well, I mean, at Niagara Falls, it kind of makes sense at night because you've got the rainbow during the day. I don't know.
Oh, so at Niagara Falls, yeah. Well, yeah, but they're also not going for. They're not stuck to the beats of a story.
Right.
So
yeah,
they can do whatever they want. For them, it's just decoration.
So anyway, me and my buddies, we've been talking about when the ark shuts down, what should they do with it? And somebody said, "Oh, Sodom and Gomorrah Tavern. Yeah, there you go." I'm like, just convert it to a homeless shelter. We need more of those.
Yeah. How are they doing though? Because I thought they started doing a little better at some point. I know at first it was a little like slow, but are they getting more customers, or are they pretty much tapped out? Like everybody saw what they wanted to see and went home.
I
I
I
mean,
don't think there's much they can do to draw customers, you know.
no, I mean they literally recruited God to the task, and they still didn't get that many.
Yeah. And the thing about the ark, it doesn't make any sense because it wasn't a ship. Ken Ham, it wasn't a ship. Read your own goddamn book.
Wasn't it just like a big box or something?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
I mean, it wasn't, but in the story,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it didn't happen in real life, but in the story, it would have been a box.
Which makes a lot more sense, just in terms of, for one thing, ease of construction, and for another thing, space usage. I mean, it's not like you have to attain any speed. You don't need what would you call it? Like hydrodynamic or something. You don't need it to be able to flow quickly through the water.
Yeah.
You kind of just are gonna float around.
But
It
it
still
was,
doesn't make much sense. I don't quite understand how this guy managed to seal that whole thing to
yeah.
water tightness, and yeah. I mean,
Also,
it's more than just that too. Like, you're being tossed around extremely aggressively.
how did 8 people build it in a year?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, it can always come down to just saying, well, God told them to do it, so he helped. It's like, oh, we ran out of trees. Okay, here you go, more trees. Keep building. Oh, I can't do this fast enough. Okay, half of it's done. Just keep building.
Well, then this is supposed to have been before the Bronze Age. So where'd they get the tools?
Stone tools?
Yeah. Kind of hard to build a box with stone tools, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, you got the all powerful guy on your side, and he's got a schedule to keep. I mean, it's kind of like when I let my kid help me with the lawn mowing.
Uh-huh.
It's like, yeah, I'll let you help, but I do want to get this done within like an hour. So can we just at a certain point, I got to just take over and get the job done, right?
Right.
Sort of like that. It's like, okay, little Noah and family, you just you do that for a while, and I'll watch and tell you what to do. And I mean, I know you're not going to be able to get it done because you're stupid humans and you have no power.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, they put, for biblical literalists, they aren't really biblical literalists.
No, I agree.
They read so much into the Bible.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I noticed that a lot with that Noah story in particular about how they managed to fit all the animals on board, and like, John Pendleton with this thing about like the size of a sheep, and you could like pack it into this amount of space, and
I loved your analysis of that.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said because that was a long time ago, but I remember vaguely. Do you remember that movie Noah, like the one that came out in like 2014, and they just showed like the animals walk into the boat and like lay down like they're like Tetris pieces, like they all interlock, kind of.
That's about how they would have had to be too.
Yeah, I think that was that movie.
I never saw that Noah movie.
It was interesting. It really pissed off the fundies because they had like big rock monsters and stuff, and they're like, this is not accurate to the lore. This is not canon.
It's like, whatever, dude. We're just having fun anyway.
This contradicts season 2, episode 8 of the Bible.
But anyway. You know, um, I do a Saturday live stream, and some parts of the Bible are really really boring. I'm reading through the Bible right now in Saturday live stream, and some parts are just so fucking boring.
Yeah, I
Es-
know.
Especially like the this begat that blah 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 blah
Yeah,
blah.
you can kind of just skip those parts.
Yeah, and I'm like, we don't need that, you know. But that's how the young earthers, they're like, well, this is, this is how we come up with 6,000 years. Well, have you ever read the genealogies of the Bible, because they don't match up? That's kind of
Hmm.
a problem.
I certainly have not bothered to look into that closely. You know, as far as I'm concerned, if the Christians say, I don't know, 6,000 years, I'm like, okay, fine. We'll go with 6,000 years for the sake of conversation.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can have 6,000 years. That's fine.
Um,
Just
it,
tell me a number. 20,000 years, fine. 3,000 years, fine. I don't care. Let's just, go from there. Go from what you think.
yeah, but the problem is then you've got like, and I know you know this, but you've got the radioactivity. I mean, for the Earth to have had that much radioactivity in that amount of time, we'd be like a ball of fire.
Yeah, but see, God started the universe in the state of how it was 6,000 years ago, don't you see? That's that's why the light from the stars was already here, even though they're, hundreds of millions of light years away. He,
Yeah,
you know, he made the light already in progress. He made the radioactivity already done.
yeah. I gotta ask you, what's the Harun Yahya shit?
What is it? I mean, he's like a crazy Turkish Muslim creationist guy
Oh, okay.
who made. Do you know the Atlas of Creation?
I have looked it up because
It's
I
a
do
book that he
watch
sent
you.
out to like, I think they looked up like every friggin' scientist on the planet or something. So many people anyway, and mailed out copies to all of them. It must have been a massive investment. And then like the first edition, at least they had like they basically all it is mostly. I mean, there's like an introduction, I think, and that gives a bunch of creationist arguments or whatever. But the bulk of the book is just, hey, look at this fossil of an animal, and then look at this modern animal, and they look exactly identical, and therefore no evolution happened. Um,
That's not an argument.
no, it's awful. But then they even had
So
like I
we're
remember
just
one right where they had like a fossil fly or something,
uh-huh.
and then they had a modern fly, but they showed like a fishing fly, like for fly fishing,
Okay.
instead of an actual fly because they were idiots. Um, I think I can't remember what the other ones were that were like the major screw ups. Like I thought one of them was like there's like a fossil snake, and then the modern one they showed was like a eel or something. It was something to that degree of stupidity, at least. I don't remember the exact thing that it was.
I'll have to look it up. That sounds awesome.
Oh, it's a
The
blast. Yeah,
amount of
going through that book is a lot of fun.
yeah.
Especially if you can find the earlier editions, because I think they fixed some of their problems.
Uh
Um,
so basically, it sounds like Joaquin Seven read the Harun Yahya.
okay. Who's Joaquin 7?
Seven, the one with the museum from private funds, because he couldn't like, get public funds because it was so stupid.
Oh.
It's like, here's the fossil and here's
Oh,
the
so the same
living
same
room.
thing. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no,
So,
it's ludicrous. Ludicrous
yeah,
argument. And of course it's purely superficial too. It's like, look, here's a picture and there's a picture. It's two things that look the same.
yeah, and what gets me is, discount Hogan to even shows a picture of a snake with legs, and he still doesn't get it.
I'm
I'm
sure it was
like,
just. I'm sure they were just like atavistic legs. They just sort of. That was just a
well, it was a
little
fossil
anomaly.
with, legs, because he showed it. Uh, and it was just like, what? It's like, okay, you're showing a fossil snake with legs.
Yeah.
So what about atavism don't you understand?
Mm-hmm.
It's like some humans are born with tails.
Uh-huh. Maybe that's what he would say, though. See, like it's just a normal snake, but it just happened to have legs. This particular one that got fossilized.
Was
Just
that
this
the
one, though. None of the other ones. I promise.
was that the snake that got unwillingly possessed by the devil? You
Oh,
think?
maybe. Yeah. Hey, it's proof.
Oh man. Oh God. Well, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they should really go with that argument. See, this is proof that creation happened. This is the fossilized snake that got possessed by the devil.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I don't understand why they haven't made that art. Maybe somebody has. Somebody probably has.
Maybe they're too stupid to figure it out.
Nah, there's no way somebody hasn't made that argument now that you say that.
I don't know whether anybody's made that argument or not. It came to me like when I was thinking about the fossil snake with the legs. I was like, well, they could make that argument,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
except nothing fossilizes in 6,000 years.
Everything fossilizes in 6,000 years. Haven't you seen the boot and the hat?
That fossilized from calcification.
Yeah. That's fossilization. I mean, basically, right? That's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. Come on.
Only if you pretend hard enough.
Well, that's their bread and butter. It's pretending hard. How many people we got watching right now?
12.
Hi, 12 people. That's good. That's like a nice little private space. I can picture like a little smoky room. Everybody's got cigars. We're all
And a
sitting
drink.
around.
Don't forget the drink.
Yeah, what are we drinking?
I can't drink because I've got epilepsy, but
Oh,
everybody
so
else can drink.
water maybe.
Yeah.
But it's good water. It's Perrier.
Yeah, don't give me the cheap shit.
You
Although
know
I
what?
am on food stamps, so I do need the cheap shit.
When I went to Europe, they're like giving out bottled water all the time at the restaurants. Not giving it out, you have to pay for it.
Right.
But it's like every single restaurant you go to, you have the choice of the regular or the carbonated.
Mm.
And everybody drinks this fucking carbonated water. I was so weirded out by it. I was like, I've never drank carbonated water in my life. I've never met anyone who drank it. And then you go
Yeah.
over there and everyone's like, oh yeah, I'll have the sparkling one.
Yeah.
Or whatever they actually say. Boo 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 doo boo doo boo doo.
Yeah. I've drunk some of the carbonated water. I don't tend to like it as much as Diet Coke or whatever. So if I'm overseas, which I haven't been in quite some time, and by overseas, I'm talking about Canada too, um, just because the water is different in Canada, than it is even here in Oregon,
Better, worse? Wait, where in Canada? That's painting with a broad brush right there.
Yeah, well, when I was up in Canada, I was young, and we went to Niagara Falls, so that was Ontario.
Oh. Yeah, it's probably bad there.
Um, you
It's my
know,
assumption. I've never been there.
but I have been told, and I used to want to be a nurse, so I know this from microbiology that unless you're used to the water, you shouldn't drink it anyway.
Hmm.
But because it'll make you run, if you know what I mean.
That's okay. Little
So
diarrhea never killed anybody.
yeah,
A lot did.
yeah.
Little didn't.
But you know, it's just because different places have different parasites, you know, and
Yeah.
so if you're used to the water where, I mean, if you live there, it's fine, right? You're used to it,
Do you
but
think there's anybody who like collects the parasites? So yeah, I've had parasites from all across the country. I've had parasites from every continent, including Antarctica.
well, I think the CDC does, but I don't think that's how you're meaning.
No, I'm talking about the actual hobbyists. There's got to be
Yeah.
hobbyists for that. There's no way there's not. There's too many people. There's too many weird people. There's got to be people who do that.
I wonder if there could be any parasites in Antarctica, to be honest with you.
Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe inside the penguins. Maybe you have to drink like penguin pee. Then again, that also involves eating their shit because they're birds. So, hey, dedicated to your collection, right? You gotta make some sacrifices.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. If you're gonna go, you might as well go all the way, right?
Right.
Well, anyway, I think I've taken up enough of your time. Thanks
Oh,
for
that's
coming on,
that's the
man.
note. That's the note that we're ending on, is it? Yeah, that's probably the best. That's probably the best thing to end on.
Well, do you
Yep.
want to end on something else?
No, I think that's good.
We're ending on diarrhea, folks.
Yeah. And eating penguin shit.
Oh God, Logic, you kill me. You really do. I love your channel, man.
Thanks.
Even the early ones that you think were shit really aren't that shit. I mean,
They're like a little shit though. They're not that shit, but they're a little shit.
yeah, I mean, like the ones where you're like pretending to play with dinosaurs, like where the angels coming down and destroying the dinosaurs in the flood,
Yeah, I like
and you're
that one.
going,
Yeah, and then somebody made a dubstep song out of that. And then I think I made that the theme song for the next one. So that was great. I don't know I don't remember who did that, but whoever it was, yeah, I really appreciated that.
that was great. That was great. I really appreciate you, man. I appreciate what you do. You've helped me out a lot, I know. And I'm sure there's other people you've helped,
Cool.
So Beach says great channel.
Ah.
And Gallon Thurber says dancing with Gina. Guess he's
Oh
talking
yeah,
about
she likes to do that. She'll oftentimes put up videos, just dance with me, and then she just dances. It's pretty incredible. She even did that. Like at one point, she made a response video to me, which I never did a public response to. I did one as a supporter exclusive, which is a hard word to say. Exclusive. It's a hard word to say fast.
like annoyingly.
Yeah, or library. I mean, I always have trouble with that because my mouth doesn't want to make that r like February. Feb. I always want to pronounce the R because everyone says February and it pisses me off because it's wrong. And then everyone spells it wrong too.
Lisa for Truth, let Logic know about the U.S. National Parasite Collection.
Unless
Yeah,
it's stored in somebody's intestines, I don't care.
So, anyway, but yeah, yeah, it was a long way out for me. Took about 3 years to deprogram myself from that shit.
That's
So
a while.
it does take a while.
Do
Of
you
course,
still
like I
get
said,
like? I've heard of people who still get like hell dreams and stuff. You get any of that?
no, not really.
Oh, good. Because that seems like the worst part to me. Like
Yeah,
everything else, everything else, I'm like, okay, well, got my issues. But the hell stuff in particular, it's like that's just abusive shit, abusive manipulative shit. I really don't like
yeah,
that.
and it's just to keep people in the religion.
Oh, absolutely. But then there's so many people who get out of it and they still say like, yeah, I'm very traumatized by this hell idea. I can't get over it. You know,
Yeah,
it's pretty rough.
yeah, but I don't really have a problem with it. Maybe because I never really bought that a loving God would send people to hell.
Yeah, that is a hard sell.
Yeah, it's one of the major problems with the religion.
Yeah, I saw. I made another exclusive recently, which was about some lady trying to argue that away, and she was basically saying, "Yeah, you see, God is a gentleman, and imagine that he is a suitor, and he wants to fuck you." I mean, she didn't say that part. And if you tell him, "No, sorry, I'm not interested," then he'll just say, "Okay, you know, you're not interested in me the way I'm interested in you. I'm not going to be a weird stalker. I'm not going to keep pestering you because that's not gentlemanly behavior. And so I'll just let you go to hell." It's like, okay.
Ever
that's
heard of
that's not
false
exactly.
identity?
Also, isn't this supposed to be a parent-child relationship, not a lover relationship? I thought that was a bit odd as well.
Yeah,
Like, how can it be both? Like, we're not talking about like getting into a sexual relationship.
right.
It's like, as a parent, don't you have a responsibility to protect your child? I mean, if somebody goes to hell for not believing, it's because they were ignorant, right?
Hmm. Or like me, they just, you know, they decided to turn away from it because it makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there who are like firm believers and also go, "Fuck you, God, ha ha ha. Now I told you to fuck off, so now everything's going to be fine for me."
Well, we're all true believers. I mean, deep down, we're
Oh,
true believers.
yeah, yeah. That's another thing I just can't wrap my head around. It's like you honestly can't fathom that someone actually disagrees with you. You can't even process that in your brain enough to go, okay, well, these people don't believe what I'm telling them. I'm gonna keep making arguments. I'm gonna keep making the fucking Kalam cosmological argument and hope that works. But still, they already believe me.
Yeah, I'm
Then why
still
are you
going to go to the
arguing at me?
Bible because everybody believes in the Bible, like,
Yeah.
like secretly, like
Why are you
deep
trying
down.
to convince me of the thing I'm convinced of, supposedly? Why wouldn't you just go, okay, well, you're a lost cause and just leave me alone?
It doesn't make
I mean,
any
I
sense.
understand the thing of like, oh, if you actually believe that somebody's headed for a horrible fate, warn them. I get that that's the perspective on that. I understand that. But you say, I believe you already. I don't need to be warned. I already know, right? And so why are you trying to convince me with arguments? It's very strange.
Yeah, especially if we already know, you
Yeah,
know.
like those people in particular really weird me out. It's like your behavior is not consistent. You're not making sense. The ones who at least acknowledge that you don't believe them, those ones you can have a conversation with.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you can blame Paul for that argument.
Yeah.
You can blame Paul for just about all of Christianity.
Yeah, good little minion.
Oh boy. Anyway, all right. I said I was going to let you go. Like, I
10
don't
minutes
know,
ago.
like
Yeah.
15 minutes ago. But anyway,
Yeah.
it was fun talking to you, man. I
Yeah, it was a
really
good time.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like I said, I just wanted to thank you in person.
Okay,
Well,
well, thank you back then.
as in much thank you in person as I can give you.
Yeah, I never know how to take that stuff. I'm bad at
Ah,
taking compliments. I'm just like, okay, yeah.
okay. I think
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
going to
cool.
end the broadcast.